inviting you to join us for an unbelievable comedy experience.
This is comedy with a purpose.
Join me and my friends, including Basket Mouth,
Eddie Kadi,
Dalisa Chaponda,
Jason, Nicholas, Donovan,
AK Dan,
right here,
and Dr. King Owi for a show like no other.
Africa is a continent, African is a country. You do not want to miss.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting.
Tune in, laugh.
Will you join us?
See you there.
See you there.
I'll see you there. One love.
Well, I'll be joining. It's been such a hectic year, and comedy will, of course, take center stage on a completely different format this weekend as the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees prepares to host a show that will use humour to actually recreate the narrative of the African refugee. Now, top comedians from across the continent will participate in the comedy leg of the agency's Luquluqu Campaign, which is a collaborative effort aimed at promoting the principles of sharing responsibility for one another, of course, and also for resources in support of displaced persons in Africa. Entitled Africa is a Continent and African is a Country, comedy with a purpose, this virtual show is the first of its kind and is absolutely free. So to tell us more about this, we join now by Needa Jehu Mazou, who is the head of the UNHCR's Private Sector Partnerships Africa, as well as Donovan Goliath, comedian who will be participating in the event. Thanks to both of you and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Needa, let me start with you. Before we get into the comedy show, please tell us a little bit more for those who may still not know about the Luquluqu movement and what it exactly aims to achieve.
Of course. Good morning, everyone. The Luquluqu movement is basically a gathering of incredibly wonderful people and minds that have come together in support of uplifting the narrative of the African refugee. There was a myth about the African refugee, being one of destitution, fly on the mouth, distended stomach, etc. And this is not necessarily true of the African refugee. The African refugee is also resilience, hope, strength of character, and very often a female. And so with that in mind, we came together with incredible people like Donovan and others to come up with this campaign 3 years ago to really bring mainstream the discussion on the African refugee with everyday Africans. It resounded very well with South Africa in particular, and Donovan, Jason, and Nick all put up their hands to be influencers and supporters of this incredible campaign, giving their platform to help us push it along. In addition to South Africa, we launched this campaign in West Africa, East Africa, and now we are venturing into the diaspora with African diaspora. So we're very excited about this. Africa hosts over 34 million family people forced to flee, and that's no laughing matter. But Africans have always been able to look at each other and heal each other with humor. And this comedy with a purpose helps us to be able to just basically unpack the narrative of what is happening in Africa with our refugees, but also the incredible support that we have received from all of Africa, from corporates, from individuals. This event is even testimony to that. We have corporate supporters from East, West, and Southern Africa who have thrown their weight behind it. We also have diaspora support for the event, and we're very, very stoked about it.
Donovan, why did you decide to get involved, and how are you hoping to contribute towards this very worthwhile and noble effort?
You know, I don't know how much more I can say after that incredible introduction by Needa. She should just speak on behalf of all of us every single time. In fact, I wish Needa was actually on this lineup as well. You know, I must be honest. I'm gonna take it back a little bit and say that you know, when we got the call to be part of the Luquluqu tribe, I was quite taken aback. You know, because that's a very big responsibility, a very big deal, but a very humbling request as well. You know, I really, we jumped at the opportunity. I say I, but I actually mean we, myself, Jason and Nicholas, really jumped at the opportunity to be a part of such amazing cause something that I don't think gets the attention and the respect that it deserves. We don't make enough noise about, these communities who are often overlooked, who are just kind of silenced and muted because, we get so caught up in our own worlds really, we I always say, people always say, like now, I'll use COVID-19 as an example. We speak about, we're all in the same boat, but we often don't realize that not all of us have the same size boats. Some of us actually just have a little plank that we're lying on, and we never really think about those people who are just trying, living day by day, just to find identity, to find purpose, to find their families. There are real struggles out there. And so this was a really great opportunity for us, I think, to get out and use our voice and our influence and what we know and what we do to really educate people, and shine a light, on these people. And, for us, hopefully, at the end of all of this, I mean, this was a big deal. I don't know if Needa was going to speak about this, but we spoke about this. We just threw it out as an idea, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to pull this show off, because it's a big deal. I mean, we've got Daliso Chaponda, Basket Mouth, AK Dance. These are huge comedians. And to get all of them on one lineup to participate in something like this is a really, really great and heartwarming thing. It really shows the compassion that people still have. There's still that humanity where people really will drop, give of their time and of their efforts and whatever else to really come together to make as much noise as possible. So we really do hope that at the end of this, we've changed just a few perspectives more than anything, and asking people to donate, I think, really just to change the perspectives of how people see refugees and almost pass that baton on so they can keep spreading the message. I think that's the ultimate goal for us.
And Needa, just, picking up on that, and often we don't know just how big the problem is, and 20.2 million people, we are told, are displaced on this continent, on the African continent alone. In terms of the main contributing factors, the main drivers, what is going on? What is leading to people leaving their homes on the continent?
No, indeed. And in fact, it's over 34 million people that are displaced in Africa as we speak. It's tragic. This year has seen unprecedented numbers. Some of the situations that cause this, often, as we know, is through no fault of the refugees. The flight that they have to most of them are fleeing secondary flight because there's unrest in their countries. It is really war, conflict, and if you sometimes natural disasters causing displacement, but it's on our continent invariably it is fueled by conflict, unfortunately. But it doesn't change the makeup of the refugee. The same skill sets, the same person that they were before they crossed the border into another country does not become somebody else. And that's what we really implore people to remember. These were able-bodied people or differently abled people in their communities, contributing, doing everyday things like all of us. And then an unfortunate situation happens in their backyard and they have to flee. And then they leave everything behind and come and hope for the goodwill of others in another country. Sometimes they don't even speak the language. Africa, as you know, is mapped out such that some of us have official languages as Portuguese, English, French, you name it, or Arabic. And so when you flee, the next door neighbor that you flee to the next country may not be of the same tongue as you. And yet here you are. And even in the camp, the person next to you may not be from where you're from in your country and may also have a different tribe or different language. And so the Luquluqu community was an idea to bring everybody together as one tribe, one human movement. And it's really everybody that wants to put up their hand in support of Africa and its refugees and has an appetite to be able to help us find lasting solutions for the situation. It's not really an us and them. And I think as Donovan said, if COVID taught us anything this year, is that we are as vulnerable as the most vulnerable in our communities. And in Africa, our backyard is the refugee crisis. And we need to take ownership of it and solve it. If they say Africa has the biggest workforce in a few years, what workforce are we going to have if we have 34 million people disenfranchised on our continent? It is a collective responsibility, and it is a must that we must live up to resolve. And having said that, I'm really pleasantly happy and surprised as we were 3 years ago when we launched the campaign. Everybody we reached out to was like, tell me what to do. And that was really heartwarming. I traveled with Donovan to a refugee camp in Malawi, and I was observing him, and I could see that this man is never going to walk away from this cause. And that's the effect that the refugee situation has on people who truly understand what it means. And this is what we hope that this event will help us do. As Donovan said, the lineup is phenomenal. All of the Goliath brothers are on there, as is Eddie Cardi from DRC, who is a British Congolese, Daliso Chaponda, Malawian, British also, AK Dance himself, a refugee, and funny, very funny kid, and Basket Mouth, who is very big on our continent as well. We also have Tubaba performing, and your very own Lyra also performing on the show, as well as special appearances from Nomza Mombata, Hen Sabri from North Africa, and Kat Graham from North America. So it's a truly Pan-African event, also including the African diaspora in there, and we're very excited. It's the first time we've had North, South, East, West, and Central Africa coming together for such an incredible cause, as well as the diaspora presence. So it really promises to be great fun. And as we said, it's free. Please register, join us, learn a little bit about the refugees while laughing. It's belly-aching laughter. I was there for some of the rehearsals, and I had tears streaming down my face. So everybody should tune in and join us and enjoy this great show.
And Donovan, for a creative such as yourself, how do you translate what Needa has just said, such serious issues into comedy and making sure that your audiences are captured, firstly in terms of the laughs, but also the messages that you were trying to relay?
I think vulnerability plays a really big factor here, is really exposing, who you are, your values, what you stand for, and getting that out as much as possible. Because, with us, for example, as comedians, people see us on the stage, they always see the end product, and nobody ever gets an opportunity to really speak to you, off of the stage, because they call it an act for a reason on stage, because you really do put on an act. You write a set and you perform that set for however long, and then you move on and you continue with your life. But I think this is a really great opportunity to showcase that, we do think about problems in the world. We do think about serious issues such as this one. And what we're doing here is we're using comedy as a vehicle to kind of hook you and get you, to really sit and listen and pay attention. Because if we just went out with a serious message, we're competing with all the news and the devastating things that we're reading about every day on social media, in newspapers or whatever it is, and that's not what we're trying to do here. I think it also comes at a very, very interesting time. People really do need to breathe, just exhale just a little bit. We just need, something to make us a little bit happy, even if it's just for an hour before we get back to reality again. But really, I think the opportunity here is to, get all of these people that you know and love from television, from social media, from watching them live or whatever it is, and really get to see a different side to them and what they stand for, and, hopefully influence you to do the same. So going back to my first point, I think that this is a really great campaign to show our vulnerabilities and, really what we stand for, what we believe in, and just be human again.
And you know what, I watched a concert last night and it was everything and more, so I'm not missing this as well. But Needa, for those who want to watch or those who want to participate, how can people actually watch the comedy show and get involved in the cause?
Again, it's so easy. Just log on to luquluqu.org/comedy and register. It's free. Come and enjoy yourself and learn about a worthy cause. luquluqu.org/comedy.
As simple as all of that. Well, Needa Jehu Mazou and Donovan Goliath, thank you so much for your time here this morning on Morning Live, and really looking forward to the show. So thanks for all the great work that you do. And thanks to Needa and also to Donovan there. Needa Jehu Mazou is the head of the UNHCR's Private Sector Partnerships Africa, as well as Donovan Goliath, who is the taking part in that free virtual comedy show. And it's taking taking place on Sunday, the 13th of December, and it's in support of millions of refugees who remain misplaced within and on the African continent. As you heard from Needa, there are more than 34 million people we're talking about. So you can go there to the Luquluqu website, register and watch the show for free. Let's take a quick look,